Hello everyone. Um, Last video I asked if you guys want to see the way I do my polishing, and I got quite a few requests that they want to see the polishing. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to show you a couple of things: a ring and a pendant, and how I polish them. So stick around. My name is Eli Ganim, and welcome to EG Lapidary. Okay, before I start, let me show you the tools that I use. And I'm sure most of you have it, but let me show you what I do have. This here is from Rio Grande, and they have these wheels, and you can put them into the let me show you what I got here. So here they are. There's different ones. There's the pink and the yellow and the peach color, and each one is a different grid, and they have the grid marking up down here. These are very nice. I use mainly these in area where I can get to, and this will be easier to just fit right into these tight area and use them. Now, one thing that you have to watch, I mean, I don't mainly use one fitted here. I take quite a few of the same one, like this one here, and I just put them together and then lock them. This you could polish a wider area if you want. Now, one thing that you have to watch, everything, your tools will turn clockwise, so you're turning this way, and you need to have the direction of these what do you call them, fingers or whatever. It has to be in that direction, so when you turn you will not crack them. If you go the opposite way, it's going to hit something and you're going to break them all. So make sure that these are turning clockwise when you put them in. So that's one thing here. Now, the other ones that I also use are these here. Now, these are wheels, the different colors, and also they will give you what they are down here, like white, it's polished and it's coarse polishing. Black is medium, light blue is fine, pink is very fine polish. So you get them here, you get different shapes. These are round, and these are like pencil type that you fit them in and they will work. And this here, for instance, they have a threaded, here it goes. Okay, I got these here. So some of them are already like that, and some are the round one here. There is another one where actually there is a thread, whoops, there is thread in it, and it will just thread right in and you hold it. This gets into the very fine areas, so I don't use them as much, but when you need them, they're there. The other thing that I also use are these here. Now, I got this one here from Harbor Freight. I think they have the whole set, and the reason I bought them is for the felt down here. See this here? These are very good for polishing, and you get different sizes, the small ones here, and you get the round one. Here's what I use them for. So I have see this one here? It's already had the polish on it. This is the bigger one. right there. And these are very good when you're polishing, especially the smaller one, because the smaller one, they will go into the ring shank, and you could actually go in and polish that, because when you go and you polish it on the wheels, you can't get inside. So this is easier to go in and polish your shank. Okay, one thing you gotta do, I use two different things. I use the gray polish and the rouge polish. So, and we'll talk about these two later on. But mark up or write on your bags what they are. You can't contaminate the two together, so make sure that they're in separate bags and each one is marked properly, so you don't. Okay, now what else do I do? When you sand, you need to also to sand your parts. So here is one that I found. It's really handy, and this one here, see, it's like rubber handle, but it got different grits. So I got the 400, I have the 1000, I got the 1500, and it's easy to put them on or out. It's a Velcro type of thing, and you just take them and line them up. Here you are, and you can go with that. Now these are, you can get them from any automotive supply. They do have them. When you go into the section where they do the painting for or repairing cars, you will see them there. And they got different grids. So buy the grids that you need. This is very handy, and I use it a lot. The other thing you could do is this. I got this here, which again is sandpaper. I wrap it around, and the different grid. And what I do is I mark up the grid right on the handle. So this is 600, this is 400, and this is 240. Now, this is a round dowel that I used, wrap it around, and here I'm using staples. You could use staples, or you could rubber band, or even tape. If you use like this one here, it has just tape around it to hold them in position. And I would recommend to use the tape. Is much better than the staples. But now I have them here, so I gotta use them. The other thing is that these here. Okay, I got these all from Lowe's. They're in the paint department. And take them, and you could use them for this. So now this also is very handy to use. There's another one that I would like to show you. This one here. I made this, and you can make one. It's very simple. Two pieces. It doesn't have to be that big, but this is what I had, so I used them. Put a hinge on the back, one end, so you could actually open them. And what I did here, I just cut a groove or cut an area, as you could see here, and I did put a piece of rubber right inside. So, and the reason I'm using this one for is when you have a ring, you can take that ring and actually fit it right in between. So when you polish, it gets very hot. So when you polish it, you don't have to use your hand, especially like I said, you know, if you're grinding, you know, you're using this here, it gets very hot. And if you're polishing, same thing. So, and it's very easy to use, it's simple, and that will help you with doing this one here. Okay, another thing that when I polish, what I do is I use the gray, here they are, just looking for those. So I got two. This is the gray, and this here is used to take all the scratches off. This is, it's about 180 grit. for the gray. And then I go from there, I go to the brown Tripoli, which is the brown one, and for final polish. So I don't need to go in between, really. It doesn't, we're going to go through this and you're going to see how good they are when you're finished. So what do I use them on? I use them on these cotton wheels, which is they're, pick the one that has the threaded. They're all threaded inside, and that makes them strong so it doesn't fly away. There's some that they don't have any thread, so all the sheets are open. And I use the other ones. I use them when I'm doing work with wood. So if I want to polish wood, I can use the other one. But these what you need for your jewelry. And there is different type. One thing you have to watch: don't mix them around. So if you're using this for the gray, I will mark right here gray, okay, and I will put also the grid 180. If I'm using one for the polishing Tripoli, I will put brown Tripoli polish. You mark it so you know what it is. You never contaminate both of them, and you always keep them separate. Another thing you gotta watch is when I do the first polish, which using the gray. After I finish, I go and I wash the whatever I was polishing. I go and wash it with a toothbrush, and we're gonna go through that also. And then I go and come back and do the polishing with the Tripoli, and with the Tripoli again I go in and wash it. So we're gonna go through all that, and I will show you how we do it. Now, what I'm gonna do is I got here, this is a ring shank, it's already done, and this is what I'm gonna have on top of it. And this one here, I already put it together, so all I need to do is just, it's already soldered, is solder it down here. And like on the other video that I showed you, in order to solder this, you need the flat, because if I'm going to take it and just solder it like this, all I have is a tangent point of this circle that is touching on the flat surface. So really I don't have much of real estate to solder this on top. So if my solder might be there, but eventually you might have a problem that's going to break. The other thing is, on this one here, I still have some, probably you don't see it here, but I still have the solder in the connection here. I need to clean and I need to finish. So there is some filing that's going to be happening here, and some grinding on the inside, and then what I would like to do is, on most of my rings, is I have the opening or the solder to be down at the bottom. And the reason for that is, if you need to adjust the size of that ring, you could always go back to the same area and saw the solder out, open it, add to it, and you're good to go. Now, sometimes if the solder is really bad and it's soldered, but there's a lot of, it doesn't look nice, you still can put it and solder it on the other side. But remember, this one here, it's soldered with hard solder. This one here, all these pieces are also hard solder. So when I put them down here, I'm going to use medium solder. So that will finish it very quickly. So even if you have the solder of the shank down here, you still be quick enough that you melt the medium solder before melting the hard solder. But like I said, put it down at the bottom if you can, so you can always go in and adjust it if you need to adjust it size-wise. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here. This is the other one, which is a cap. So I just finished this one here. I soldered these together. Again, I'm using hard solder for this. All I have to do now is I'm going to polish, and it's nice and clean because I just put it in the pickle and got it up. So this here, I have to clean the base. This here, which is going to be the bezel, and what I have here is a solder for this bezel. So I'm putting this one here for polishing, also for later on. We talked about this once before, but what I can do with this is go in and clean that area. Probably can see it here, I'm not sure, but I clean with the old solder, or the solder that I did here. Just clean this one here. I might even polish all that before I solder it. This here also, this is the plate that I'm going to put in. Now here is the plate. I think this is going to fit properly. What I did is you take this one here and you go in and polish. Actually, I need the older one. It's finer, so I'm going to take this out. Put this one here and do the same thing. So what I'm going to do is just and this is the other thing you gotta do. When the pieces are like that, it's easy to polish than when they are together. So try to think ahead, polish everything as much as you can before you solder them together. And this way, it makes it a lot easier for you. Now this one here, I have to make sure that all this is flat or on the same line. So when I put it here, I don't have any gaps up and down. And so this has to be flat, this has to be flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this, and I think I showed you before, once before, all you have to do is take a sandpaper, put it on a flat surface. I use a steel block, and I go in, and you go and you make the figure eight. You could also mark all the base with a marker, with the Sharpie, so everything is black. And this way you will know, once everything turns white, silver, clean, then you know you're flat here. When you put it here, then you use your third hand, is going to hold them down properly. You solder, and we're good to go. So, okay, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go in and I'm going to solder this here. I'm going to solder this here. Somehow I'm going to put it. And then there is another wire I'm going to put down around it here, but you'll see all that. Also, I'm going to clean this here, solder this one, and come back and show you how I'm going to polish all this. So stick around. It's going to take me few minutes to do that, but for you it's going to be a few seconds. So see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back here, and right now what I did is I finished the solder of the pendant and the ring. Like you've seen in my other video, that I put the little flat on the top, and then I put the top portion, so I can put the bezel, and it's already soldered here. Now it's but before I start, I'm going to show you also here on for the pendant. What I did is I made a design in the back and I cut it out. There's a few reasons for that. First, it looks nice. Secondly, you could actually see the cab. When I put the cab in, you could actually see the back of the cap, and most of the time I don't polish the cap. It's just like, I don't make it shiny, but this way you could actually see the cab, how it looks originally before it's polished. The other thing is that when you fit it in and it gets stuck, you can always push it out from here. So you get something and just push the cab out and you get it out. So these are the reason I do that. Now the other reason also, when you cut some of the silver out, now use the scrap that's you have extra pieces for your scrap. So you're not putting all that much of silver or sterling silver in that piece, and it looks nicer. Okay, now so I'm going to take this and then I'm going to go with both of them and I'm going to go and polish them. But before I do that, the ring, I got to do the inside. So right now, I mean, they look clean because I put them in the after I soldered them, I put them in the pickle and they come out like that. The inside here, I gotta do it before I go onto the machine. And like I said before, I use two things. I use the gray polish first, which sticks any scratches that I have here. It will take them out, and then I will use the rouge, which is the final finish. So right now, I'm just gonna go in and do the inside, and I'm using this one here, and then after that, after I use this one, I'm going to use the gray. So let's see if I have any. This one here makes it shiny. I can see if there's any scratches, and if there is, I'll just try to clean them out. Now, like I said, if you do too much, so you're going to cut a lot and it gets out in your hand, you can always use that holder that I showed you before. But right now I'm doing it quick. It doesn't actually get hot at all because I'm not really cutting much. Because what I did before is I went and I filed actually all the area where the solder. Like I said before, the solder of the shank is down at the bottom. So if for any reason you need to enlarge the ring, you can always cut it from the same point and do it that way. Okay, so now this is done. So the next thing is I'm going to use my gray star. I got two. Where are they? This is another one. Okay. So I'm going to use this one here. Okay. So take this one out. I wish I had the quick disconnect one and go a lot faster, but I don't have it, even though I get 1, 2, 3. Get in. See, that's the reason. You gotta get the right size. Okay, so what I do is I just charge it a little bit. Usually I use a mask when I do this, but since I'm talking, I can't talk with the mask. So, okay, so I'm using the gray right now. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Now the other one, I gotta take it. I don't need to do it with this one here. I'm just gonna take it directly on the polishing wheel, and then we go from there. But I could show you this one here on the inside. See here? You might see a little bit of black, which that's fine. That's from the wax, wax that we have from the, from the gray, which is fine. That's going to be washed later on. So right now, I'm going to take you on the machine, and I'm going to show you the machine that I got, and then I'll show you the rest of it. So. Okay, so let me show you the machine that I have. This one here, I made the machine myself, which is very easy to do. This here is 6-inch bench buffer that I got. I think I got it from Harbor Freight. The shaft here, I added these two, which I bought them, I believe, from Rio Grande. They have them. And what happened is, this here actually fits right in, so you could actually take it out and put it back in, and this is like threaded conical threads that it will bring the polishing pad right in. It has a couple of set screws here to lock it in, so you could buy just this, put it into the shaft and lock it. Now you gotta make sure there's one thing you gotta remember, there is left and right these shafts here, and the reason for that is the threads are right-handed and left-handed, and I'm not going to go into this because I explained it in one of my other videos. But what happened is, when you put it in, this one, it will turn as soon as you turn the machine on. This one will go right in. So what I have here, I have one that I use for the rouge and one I use for the gray. I don't mix them up. These are the boxes I did. They have a hole in the back, and I don't know if you could see it from here, but it's, let me show you. So this is, you could actually see the hole in the back there. Can't get it there, hold on. Okay. Let's see, here is the hole. There is one hole on each box, and if you look at the back, what I did is I have it connected here, the two together with PVC pipes. So all I did is I had a 90-degree elbow straight, then a T, and it goes into my vacuum. So when I turn the vacuum, it just sucked all the dust coming out from here. It is noisy, but you know, you not have to breathe all this out. Okay, so with this one here, you could actually see all the stuff that comes out from it. Okay, so now let me set it up again. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing the gray, which is the one on the left side here, which is this one here, and this actually you're going to see this one when I put it on, it will just go right in. Here is the other thing I'm using. There's a lot of problems that when people actually start working with or start polishing, and if you don't hold it properly, the wheel is going to catch on your piece of silver and it's going to throw it right out. That happens to me too a few times. But what I have is I got these little springs, and I'm going to show you how to use them. I also have gloves that I use, and I have a pair for the gray, and I also have a pair for the rouge. You don't want to mix anything to contaminate either. Even the threads that I got, it's one for the gray, and I leave it here on top, and the other one is for the rouge, and I leave it on the other side. So just let me get the okay, I got the gray here, and I'm just gonna add some. So I'm just gonna wear my glasses, safety glasses. That's important. Okay. So if I start with the ring first, what I do is I take it and I just put this one inside in the ring like that, and I hold it. So with one hand, that will never, I will never lose it. Okay, so I can go here and I can press as much as I want. And let me try to get close enough so you could actually see how I'm doing this. Okay. Now it's getting hot, so that's why I wear my gloves. Now, most of the time is on this right inside here. You gotta be very careful and how to do it, because it's not, you can't go just from the top and polish this. So you gotta go using the corner of your wheel. You can get in and do that. But you have to be very careful that you don't catch it. Okay? Set very light. Don't press too hard, and see if everything is okay, then yeah, go ahead and press it in. Make sure you get everything. At all time, I'm holding this in my hand, so I won't lose it. Also, don't forget to do the side of the shank. Okay, that looks good. So that's done. I'm going to do the other one. And here with the other one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the thread where I'm going to have the bail later on just fit it right in if I can. There you go. But you have to do this when you're wearing gloves. Okay, do this. So this one is in. Now I got to polish this one. Keep it a little bit more of. This one, I don't need that piece of wood because this is, nothing is going to happen to the bezel. But if it's a gallery wire bezel, then it's going to be kind of flimsy. I'm going to go in and polish it later. But this one here is okay. I can work with that. Okay, that doesn't look bad at all. So now what I'm going to do is I have to go in and actually wash this one. And the reason we wash it is because you got to get that gray wax out of it, and you don't want to take it into the rouge right away and then you contaminate the wheels. Okay, so now I'm going to take you up to do the wash. I'm going to show you how I wash these two here to get them, but here they are. This is the pendant, and remember this is the first rank. So let's go and wash this. Okay, so what I'm using here is I use hot water, and you could use hot water as much as you can, as much as you can stand it. Now I got these brushes. I have one which is the gray one that I use especially for the gray polish, and then I have a red one that is for the rouge. So this way at least I don't contaminate them. I use soap. So if you use soap, and let's do the ring first. So I'll put it in the hot water. And what happened here, it just dilutes the wax and the polish that you did. So what I'm doing here is just, you can see how it turns black. Don't forget you gotta do also the inside. Kind of hard to hold it, but you know, with the soap it just goes around, but it's gotta be done. So back in the hot water, I use the brush to hold it. It's hot. And so, okay. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the first one, that's the ring here. So it's not bad even with just the gray, so it doesn't look bad. I leave it here. Let's take the other one and do the same thing. Hot water. You know, other people, they put it in the tumbler. I don't do that. This is, for me, it's a lot quicker, and at least I can see what I'm doing. So the whole idea here is you gotta make sure that when you polish this one, you don't contaminate the other one. Once I go back into doing the rouge, so take your time when you do it, and make sure that all the, see right now the soap looks cleaner than at the beginning when you get all the gray wax out. Okay. So, here it is, and then that's the back. And remember, this is just the first time. Once you polish it with the, it's gonna be even better. So now I'm gonna go back and finish the rouge. Just wipe this up. And then once the rouge is done, then I'm done with it. Okay, here I'm going to do also the same thing with the ring. I got to do the inside with the rouge. So I'll take this one out. And like I said, remember you got to mark your bags to make sure that you don't mix them up and contaminate them. Just the rings that you gotta do this here, because you gotta get inside. And there is other wheels that you could use that You could actually polish the inside of the ring, but I don't. I just use this one right away, and it's good enough for me. Okay, that's good. Now I go back on the wheels and I finish this one. I'm holding from here very tight so I don't lose it. Okay, the ring is done and it looks very nice. There you go. Okay. I'll do the back. Okay, here it is. Now again, I have to go in and wash it with soap and hot water, and then I'll come back. So it's going to be the same way like I did the one with the gray. So I'm not going to bother you about polishing it with the or cleaning it with the soap. So I'll be back after it's done. Okay, so I'm back now, and I did wash these after the rouge, and as far as I'm concerned, this is done. Both of them are finished. The ring is done also. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the stones in and then show you pictures of it once they are completely done. But here's just to give you a closer look on the ring. So there you go. And also for this. So they're all done. Now, I've seen some people polishing the inside. I don't think you need to do that. I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's a waste of time. So you don't need to polish it inside. All I do is just polish the outside, and I'm done. And basically, I'll set this one up, and then I'm gonna put a picture probably with it and show you. Okay, so if you like the video, and if you have any comment, or if you have any question, just send me a text down below, or just to let me know what you need, or if you have any other question, and then we go from there. So if you like that video, don't forget, gives it thumbs up, and that will help. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell on the side so you can get notified every time I post a video. Until the next time, actually, you know what, before I go ahead with this, how about going over what we did? The biggest thing that I did, or I want you to do, is when you're putting all the pieces together, what I do is I polish as much as I can, whether it's the base plate, the bezel, or anything that I add into it. I do polish that. I don't go all the way polishing. I go just up to the gray, and polish that. You use the file, you use the emery gloss, sandpaper, and get it, to the point where it makes it easy at the end, polishing or doing the final polish. It makes it a lot easier and a lot faster, actually. So having said that, again, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell on the side so you can get notified. And until next time, wish you all the luck and have a good day.